I am here to tell you that as a woman, or as a pretty woman especially, you do not have to do anything to deserve good treatment from men. Because I am a pro-dom, I'm used to this, and I truly believe to my core that I do not actually have to do anything as a pretty girl to deserve good things from men. This should be a mentality that is more well known within women in general. I feel like we were made to believe by patriarchy and capitalism, everything, that we do not deserve to be treated unless we are giving something in return or unless we are producing something. And I really think this comes from the capitalist belief that if you are not here to produce something or to make yourself useful to society, then you might as well be dead, because what the hell are you doing? In the capitalism philosophy, if you're not here to be useful to society, then you're a waste of time and you're a waste of space and you're useless. Because I'm a pro-dom, I get given gifts, I go on nice dates, I get given money for no reason, just for the fact that I am me. And there's two main reasons for that. And the reason number one is because my subs know that that's the only way they're gonna get any access to me. And the reason number two is because I ask for it. The girlies are stuck thinking that everything in this world is a transaction, and that the only way that they're worthy of receiving any good care from men is if they give them something in return. You being you in this world is enough. You don't need to do anything or give something to someone in order to deserve good treatment. And I feel like this is an idea that should be so common right now. This is one of my favorite philosophies to follow as a pro-dom, because I really think that the world would be a better place if we all let go of this transactional mentality. This mentality is very based on capitalism. It's a way of thinking that prioritizes production and money and reward over mental health, over your happiness, over community, over especially is not made to be respectful of women's cycles and women's hormones and women's need. It's just not meant to benefit as women in any way. If you think in this kind of mentality, then of course it makes sense that if you're not producing something, if you're not bringing something to the table, see how this whole narrative, this bring something to the table, is very produce, manufacture kind of language. It's a very masculine thing to do because they are the ones who are so obsessed with bringing something to the table. It's in their nature. They love bringing something to the table. They love producing something. They love overcoming problems. They love bringing solutions to things. And the only reason so many men are not doing that these days, I feel, is because they're lazy and because they beat too much, more than they can chew at their own game. They thought this whole capitalism game was gonna be fun, but now that they're noticing that even men can succeed in this society, they're starting to wanna jump into the girls' boat. And we are not buying that. I want those girls to understand that if you're a woman, if you're hot, if you're kind, and if you're intelligent, you don't need to do anything more than that to deserve good treatment. You really don't. And I know it can be a bit hard to understand that because we've all been educated by our mothers, by our parents, that nothing in this world is free and that you must always give something in return. Nothing in the world is given to you easily. Nothing comes easy. And that is true at some point, but that also completely denies or erases any kind of goodwill or nice gesture that humans want to do for each other. Because at some point, if we forget what it feels like to do something nice for others without actually getting anything in return, then we are lost for real. It's normal to be spoiled, it's normal to be worshipped, it's normal for people to want to give you nice things, it's normal for people to want to present you and to spoil you with something nice, because you are that amazing, you are that awesome, and the energy you bring to the room is worth 1,000 times whatever they can give you. And it's normal to receive these rewards without giving anything in return, because guess what? Their reward is the satisfaction of seeing you happy and the satisfaction of seeing that they've made your life easier. Get it? Like, I want you to think with me. I am a pro dom, so if you think about it, if my subs decided one day, they wouldn't, because I have an iron fist over them, but if they decided one day that they only want to serve me or do something for me because they're expecting something from me, then that would mean directly that they don't worship me and that they don't serve me, because they're expecting to get something in return. You can only truly love someone and worship the floor they walk on if you're willing to go above and beyond and go through all kinds of challenges to make them happy, even if you don't directly benefit from it. That's the whole philosophy that I work on my day-to-day with my subs. It wouldn't work otherwise. I always make sure that my subs know that any dynamic that we have is never a transactional dynamic. They are there because they want to worship me and they want to show me how much they appreciate me and that they realize how superior I am to them. They want to gift me for it. They want me to know it. They want me to know that they appreciate me and that they see the world how I see it. And I am just giving them the pleasure and the privilege of being able to do that. And trust me when I say that, that's all they want. Of course, there's some subs who will claim that they're subs and they will expect something in return, but that's not the kind of submissive that I mess with. I don't think that's true submission. I think that is offering a service and receiving a service, and I don't think there's any space for that in between me and my subs dynamic. Like, let's get for real. I don't owe men anything. Like, them getting access to me is their reward. Do you see what I'm getting at? Just me existing, just you existing as a woman. The moment that your mom knew that you were a girl and that you were gonna be born a girl, you were gonna be a woman, you already won. Face card, body card, smart card, everything is lined up for you. And the only reason that we're here right now discussing this and having to fight for our rights is because men know this, they know what power we have, and they do not like it. They do not like it. So they have to create the rules, they have to create all kinds of shenanigans and challenges and problems to give women so we wouldn't be able to access our true level of success and power that we know they know that we can have over them, because it is scary. Our sensual power, our intelligent and emotional and nurturing power is so strong that, and it has such a chokehold on them that they do not know how to process it, they don't know how to react to it, and they don't know how to control it. And when you can't control something and you don't understand something because they can't do it, when you can't understand something, then you get scared of it. And you have this feeling that you want to control it. That's why it's so important to them right now to control our bodies, to control this discourse that we're having. They get so annoyed when we start talking about, oh, we don't want 50-50. We want men to actually stand on business, like stand up and actually do your thing. You signed up for this whole capitalist thing. Eat it. So we don't want to hear crying anymore now. We don't care if there's a whole crisis, like financial crisis going on. Like, you wanted this. Isn't this the game you like to play? Like, you like getting these challenges, and you like jumping hoops, and you like finding solutions for things. So do it now, you know, and let us be at peace. Let us do what we do best, and don't get annoyed when things finally don't go your way. You know what I mean? But I digress. Anyway, I'm not saying that you should never do anything good for your man. Actually, you should make sure that they feel appreciated. Whenever they do a good job, give them a little dog treat. Honestly, literally, that is what I do with my subs. You should say thanks to them, like, be grateful that they did what they're supposed to do, but, you know, be grateful. Nobody likes an ungrateful person. So make sure that they feel appreciated so they can keep up the good work. But anything that you end up doing for them is more of a good behavior bonus, or like a really nice token of appreciation. But it should never be expected. It should never be expected. Whenever a sub of mine starts getting smart and he starts being like, oh no, but goddess, what am I gonna get? Shh. You're not gonna get anything. Just because you mentioned it, now you're gonna get even less than you were gonna get when you weren't gonna get anything in the beginning. See where that gets you? Sit down. Yeah. So now I know some of you might be thinking, but you're a pro dom, like, men, of course they do that for you because it's part of their kink, like it's their fetish, like they want to experience the power dynamic in between you and them. But I do that in my normal life as well. I'm not always in dom lifestyle. I do that with the guys that I go on vanilla dates with, and I have the same standards. They have to be able to have this generous soul and have worked well enough for themselves to be able to know that they're not wasting my time and they're coming into my life with something to offer me. So they are not just there wasting my time, and they know that, and they like the fact that they're gonna give me something, that they're gonna spoil me because they see how amazing I am. It is very normal, and I know if you're not used to ask for it and you're not used to simply being the energy that you need to be in order to convey that fact about you, it might sound very unachievable, but I promise you it is not. And also, you have to be willing to not accept anything less than that. And that might mean that you will date less, because you're not just gonna go on any date with any guy. Your like vetting process is gonna be way more strict. You're gonna have such a big list of boundaries and standards, and 1% of the guys will actually qualify to even apply to be in your presence. So if you're the kind of girl who's very uncomfortable with being by herself, that always needs to have a boyfriend, that always needs to get male attention, then you need to work on that for yourself first, because you just won't be able to stand on business until you have that figured out. And for anyone who disagrees with this, you might as well say that whatever I do for you has more value than me itself. I truly believe that if a man buys me a really nice dinner, or teaches me something, or buys me a gift, that is just as valuable as him seeing a smile on my face and seeing that he's made a difference in my life, that all the work he's been putting on himself has finally paid off, and that he's not just in my life as a placeholder or as an emotional crutch, which I think is the worst position to be in any person's life, honestly. And a healthy and healed masculine man will agree with that, because he is not thinking with a scarcity mindset. Like, think with me. If a man is only happy when he sees you struggling, when he sees you working hard. He doesn't love you. He is just angry that he is suffering, he's working hard, so he wants you to suffer and work hard too. And I know you might think, oh, that might be true for you, but it's not true for everybody. Men would never treat me like that. They would never take me to such a nice place on a first date without even knowing me. They would. You just need to look for guys who are healed and are living in an abundance mindset. They've already figured themselves out. They're not in a survival mode. Because think with me, like, if you're in a survival mode, you don't have time to see your princess girlfriend be happy because you bought her all this nice stuff. You're gonna be angry because she's having so much fun not doing anything, and you're there busting your ass, barely covering your bills, still living with your mama. Like, you're gonna resent her. But if you think that you have it, you already got that money and you've worked so hard, and now the only thing that gives you pleasure and meaning to your life is when you can actually give back and make the person that you love happy and make their life easier. Like, why do you think all these millionaires, they start becoming philanthropists and all that when they become filthy rich? They don't know what to do with their money. Like, and if they're still holding on to their money like Mr. Scrooge, like, or what's Donald Duck's uncle, his name, like, if they're still holding on to that, it's because they're scared of losing it, and they probably have trauma of being really poor or whatever, but they're still in survival mode mentally, even if they have a lot of money. But that's something for another video, where I want to mention that a man's money means nothing until it is in your hand. So comment down below if you want me to talk about that. But I don't even know what I was saying anymore. But basically, you just need to find a man who's healed, a man who's in the energy of he wants to give back, he's already finished working his ass off. He might still be working on something, but the worst part is past him. He's already been able to reap the benefits of what he's built, and he's happy to share. And a generous man is the hottest kind of man, in my opinion. A submissive one as well. You just need to find a guy who wants to see you flourish, who wants to see you happy, who doesn't want to make you suffer just because he's suffering or because he saw people in his life suffer. So he thinks that everyone else needs to go through the same thing in order to know what it's like to be truly grateful. Because this reminds me of, you know, the kind of women who like say, oh, if you haven't birthed a child in the natural way, you will never know true motherly love. It's like, just because I had epidural and a C-section, you're trying to make me feel bad for it and trying to convince me that I will never know real love. Like, girl, next time ask for epidural, okay? I personally don't date men who lack this abundance mindset. That's a very big boundary of mine, and it's a big red flag when a guy is too stingy or just doesn't spoil me in general. Like, you know, some guys they were never taught to spoil. They were always brought up in a struggle mindset, and that's where they're gonna remain until they can wake up one day and realize, I don't need to run anymore, I am safe, and let me spoil my girl. Because women are multipliers. Women will multiply your happiness tenfold if you just invest in them. I'm multiplying my subs' happiness thousandfold just because I'm in their life. Ask them anywhere, they will tell you. I didn't have this mentality as well back in the day. I used to not really understand my value, and to be honest, I am still working on it. It's not something easy to learn, because just the way we were raised as women is meant to sabotage us. So it's taken time, and it's taken time to feel comfortable in asking for what you deserve, but only if you work on yourself and you build that confidence. That's why I always say confidence is the most important skill you can give to anybody. If I had to choose a skill or an ability to give my children one day, I would put confidence top of the list, even before kindness. Confidence on top of the list, not cockiness, confidence. And working on my boundaries and my standards for my subs has immensely helped me grow as a woman and to look for better for myself. I think I always knew that I deserved better, and I always knew that I deserved to be spoiled regardless if I did something good or if I did something bad, or if I'm a bad person or a good person. I'm just deserving, because I'm a human born in this planet. I'm deserving of good things without giving anything in return. And I never or rarely found that in the real world, apart from within my family or in the dom scene. I always felt that yes, my family will always spoil me, my family will always love me regardless of what I do, whether I give them stuff, whether I do stuff for them. But when I became a dom as well, that's when I realized, oh, this treatment is not a rarity, it's a commonality, and it's what I've always wanted, and it's what I deserve, and I'm finally getting it. You have to go where you're welcome. This is what I mean when I say that you have to go for guys who have a healed mentality, abundance mentality. If you can't force a guy to want to treat you well. I'm sorry. They have to want it, and they have to see the vision. They have to look at you and be able to tell. That's all I had to say for you today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if I should talk about why a man's money means nothing unless it's helping you live a more relaxed and happy life. And I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye, dears.